The most meaningful relationships flourish when we combine autonomy with a sincere commitment to the happiness of the other.
When it becomes evident that external validation is fleeting, you can turn inward, where a more authentic connection resides.
True freedom arises when we recognize our interconnectedness with all. It is not about choosing between freedom or consideration.
When you follow what truly makes your heart sing, you awaken a vital energy that is naturally powerful.
Hello, I'm Ruby and Oliver, and today I have the honor of hosting two extraordinary masters who have changed the way millions of people see life. Watts and Osho. Their wisdom has illuminated paths and transformed lives around the world. Today, we will dive into a fascinating and liberating topic. No one cares what you do, and that is liberating. It may seem like a scary thought at first, but this reality carries one of the greatest keys to our personal freedom and spiritual growth. In a world where we are constantly pressured for external validation and social approval, understanding that we can free ourselves from these shackles is revolutionary. This conversation will explore how this apparent indifference can actually be our greatest ally in living a more authentic and fulfilling life. Let's discover how to balance self-care with empathy, how to transform the absence of judgment into inner strength, and, most importantly, how to use this understanding to achieve deep and lasting peace. Get ready to question beliefs, expand horizons, and find a new perspective on personal freedom. Alan, let's start with you. Knowing that people deep down don't care about what we go through in life, do you see that as something good or bad?
Rubian, that is a fascinating question. Deep down, it is true that, in the grand scheme of life, others may not care as much about the details of our personal experiences. But this, my friends, can be a liberation. Think about it. If we all lived in a bubble of constant analysis and judgment, it would make life exhausting. The freedom of knowing that most people are so absorbed in their own worlds can allow us space to simply be. Of course, this indifference may seem cold and even disheartening in times of need. If people don't care about our struggles, it can leave a feeling of loneliness. But it's crucial to remember that life is full of contradictions. When you realize that expectations are not so intense, it can be easier to live authentically, without the pressure to fit into a narrative that others want to hear.
What an interesting perspective, Alan, especially about how this apparent indifference can be liberating. Osho, I would like to hear your view on the same question. Knowing that people deep down don't care about what we go through in life, is that something good or bad?
Look, Rubian, this perception can be an invitation to deep reflection. When we understand that people are trapped in their own illusions and sufferings, we begin to realize that they often look at us as a reflection of their own experiences. This lack of genuine concern may initially seem like a disillusionment, but it also presents a vital opportunity for self-knowledge. If you seize this understanding, you can release it as a burden, allowing yourself to seek within the truth of who you really are. When it becomes evident that external validation is fleeting, you can turn inward, where a more authentic and lasting connection resides. In fact, this awareness can lead to a state of freedom. You free yourself from the expectation that others care about your journey, and thus, you transform into a more centered and authentic being. Detachment from external opinions allows for more significant growth, leading to self-observation and true self-love.
Extraordinary how both views complement each other. Alan shows us how indifference can be a disguised blessing, freeing us from social pressure, while Osho guides us on an inner journey of self-knowledge. I now realize that this apparent lack of importance can actually be a gift, an invitation to be more authentic and less dependent on external validation. Let's explore this further in our next question. Alan, does ignoring what others think free us or make us selfish? How can we find this delicate balance?
Rubian, that is a fascinating question that deserves careful reflection. The freedom to ignore others' opinions is like navigating unknown waters. It can lead us to incredible discoveries, but it also requires wisdom in navigation. Imagine you are steering a boat on a serene lake. Following your own north, regardless of the suggestions from other navigators, can lead you to discover uncharted bays and stunning landscapes. This authentic journey brings a unique sense of freedom and self-knowledge. However, if we navigate completely oblivious to other vessels, we may cause unnecessary turbulence and isolate ourselves on an island of loneliness. The true art lies in finding a balance, maintaining our course while respecting the movement of the waters and other navigators. Genuine freedom arises when we recognize our interconnectedness with all. It is not about choosing between freedom or consideration, but about gracefully dancing between these two realities.
What a profound metaphor about navigation, Alan. Osho, how do you see this same question? Does the act of ignoring others' opinions free us, or can it make us selfish?
Rubian, this question touches on something very deep about our essential nature. When you free yourself from others' opinions, it is like a flower finally breaking through the soil and opening up to the sun. Your true nature can then express itself in all its beauty. However, this liberation needs to come from a place of expanded awareness, not from an inflated ego. Completely disregarding what others think can turn into a subtle form of violence if it means ignoring the humanity around us. True freedom is not simply rejecting others' opinions, but transcending the need for approval while maintaining our connection to the whole. It is like a sacred dance between individuality and unity, where each step is guided by genuine love and understanding.
It's impressive how each perspective illuminates a different aspect of this issue. I realize that it's not about simply ignoring others, but about finding our authenticity without losing our humanity. I also ask that you do not ignore this request of mine. Please leave your like on this video and help us bring these enlightened perspectives to others. Thank you very much for that. But now, let's explore something that connects deeply with what we've discussed so far. Alan, can disconnecting from others' opinions really boost our spiritual growth? How can we do this in a healthy way?
Rubian, this is a fundamental question. Think of a writer developing their masterpiece. If they are constantly worried about potential criticism, their creativity will become blocked, and the essence of their art will be lost. When we free ourselves from the constant need for external validation, we open up space for our true nature to manifest. It's like a garden that needs space and light to flourish. The freer it is from external interference, the more authentic its development will be. However, this does not mean completely ignoring others' opinions. The key is to recognize that each person has their own journey and unique perspective. When we deeply understand this, we free ourselves from external pressure and create an internal environment conducive to true spiritual growth, where we can develop in our authenticity and fullness.
Osho, I would like to hear your perspective on how detachment from others' opinions can influence our spiritual journey.
Look, Rubian, when we are constantly seeking external approval, it's like we are living in a state of spiritual sleepwalking. This incessant search for validation keeps us trapped in an invisible prison where our true essence cannot breathe. Genuine spiritual growth happens when we create an inner space of silence and self-observation. Imagine a deep lake. When the surface is disturbed by others' opinions, we cannot see our own reflection clearly. But when the waters calm down, our true nature reveals itself. This process of detachment must be natural, not forced. It is a journey of discovery where we gradually realize what truly has value in our lives. By freeing ourselves from the need for constant validation, we not only advance in our personal journey but also develop more authentic relationships with the world around us.
Extraordinary how these views complement each other. Alan shows us how detachment from external opinions can nurture our authenticity, while Osho reveals the deep connection between liberation and self-knowledge. I've learned that true spiritual growth flourishes when we allow ourselves to be who we really are, free from the shackles of others' approval. Now let's address a question that touches the heart of our human relationships. Alan, is it better to live for ourselves or to balance with empathy for others? How can we find this point of harmony?
Rubian, this is a fascinating question that deserves careful analysis. Imagine a river flowing. If it only cares about following its own course, without considering the banks and the beings that depend on its waters, it can become shallow and eventually dry up. However, if he strays too far from his natural path to please the margins, he may get lost in a labyrinth of channels. Living for ourselves is essential. We need to meet our needs, understand our purpose, and seek personal fulfillment. But empathy is like the nutrient in the soil that allows the entire ecosystem to thrive. When we open ourselves to others, we create bonds, strengthen communities, and enrich our own lives. Think about the dynamics of a true friendship. If you always sacrifice for others, you end up feeling drained. On the other hand, if you only care about yourself, you may feel isolated and lonely. The ideal is to find a middle ground, where we take care of ourselves but are also open to the suffering and joys of others.
Osho, how do you see this balance between living for oneself and cultivating empathy for others?
Rubian, when we truly connect with our essence, we discover that empathy is not something we need to force. It flows naturally as a consequence of our expanded consciousness. It's like a leafy tree that, the deeper its roots, the more shade and protection it can offer to others. When we understand our own emotions and deal with our internal issues, our ability to genuinely connect with the experiences of others amplifies. True awareness manifests as love and understanding, creating a virtuous cycle that benefits everyone. The balance between self and other is not a choice, but a natural dance that happens when we live in harmony with our true nature. When our inner light shines, we automatically illuminate the path of those around us.
Fascinating how both perspectives show us different facets of this truth. Alan teaches us about the delicate balance between self-care and empathy, while Osho reveals how true awareness naturally leads us to connect with others. I now realize that it's not a matter of choosing between ourselves and others, but of finding a harmony where both can flourish together. That's quite good, but let's continue this deep exploration. Before we continue, let me give you an amazing tip. Did you know that it's very easy to get ahead of 99% of people, succeeding in everything you want for your life? I'll leave a link below in the description to a book that changed my perspective on various aspects of my mind, and that has been helping thousands of people find clarity and confidence to achieve their goals and dreams. Don't miss it. I'm sure you'll love it. Now let's explore another question that brings two seemingly opposing perspectives. Alan, in your view, do the best results come from not caring about what others think or from facing difficulties?
Rubian, this duality is fascinating to explore. Think of a gardener cultivating a new garden. He needs the courage to follow his unique vision, regardless of the neighbor's criticism about his unconventional style. At the same time, he faces real challenges like adverse weather, pests, and the learning process itself. There is a deep wisdom in not allowing ourselves to be paralyzed by others' judgments. It allows us to explore uncharted territories and express our true essence. But equally important is our willingness to face the real obstacles that arise along the way. The secret lies in the union of these two approaches: the courage to be authentic, following our own inner compass, and the determination to face the difficulties that inevitably arise. It is at this intersection that we find our true potential and achieve transformative results.
What an enlightening perspective on this balance, Alan. Osho, I would like to hear your view on this same question. Where do the best results really come from?
Look, Rubian, when you free yourself from the shackles of others' opinions, it's like a seed breaking through its shell. It doesn't question whether it should grow or not, it simply follows its essential nature. But this growth inevitably encounters resistance from the soil, the wind, and the rain. Every challenge we face is a disguised teacher, an opportunity to awaken to a deeper awareness. When you worry about what others think, you remain asleep in a cocoon of social conditioning. It is by facing difficulties with courage that your true nature is revealed. What truly matters is the depth of your experience, not the superficiality of external validation. The best results arise when you embrace both, the freedom to be authentic and the courage to face the obstacles that this path presents.
I now realize that it's not about choosing between ignoring opinions or facing difficulties, but rather about integrating both into our growth journey. This knowledge is wonderful, but let's continue our exploration. Now, another question that deeply touches our development journey. Alan, do we grow more with discipline and effort or by following our own happiness?
Rubian, this is a fascinating dynamic that deserves our attention. In fact, we grow through both paths, but the key is to understand how they complement each other. It's like a symphony. We need both the structure of the score and the creative expression of the musician to create something truly beautiful. Discipline is our foundation, like the trunk of a tree that keeps us steady in the face of life's storms. It teaches us persistence, strengthens us, and shapes our character. Think of an artist who spends hours perfecting their technique. That commitment is fundamental to their development. On the other hand, happiness is the vital force that makes us flourish. Without it, even with all the discipline in the world, we can become rigid and lifeless. It's like someone who obsessively dedicates themselves to a job they don't love. No matter how disciplined they are, they end up losing their vital essence. True growth happens when we integrate these two forces, the structure of discipline and the vitality of happiness. It is in this dance between effort and joy that we find our fullest path.
What a beautiful analogy about the symphony, Alan. Osho, I would like to hear your perspective on this question. What contributes more to our growth? Discipline and effort, or following our happiness?
Rubian, when we talk about true growth, we need to transcend this apparent duality. At its deepest essence, happiness is not opposed to discipline. It is the fertile soil where all authentic growth occurs. When you follow what truly makes your heart vibrate, you awaken a vital energy that is naturally powerful. It's like a seed that, finding the ideal conditions, sprouts spontaneously without forced effort. Discipline then becomes not a burden, but a natural ally on your journey. It's like a rope that keeps us connected to our essence while we navigate through life's storms. Balance arises naturally when we allow our pursuit of happiness to guide us, while discipline provides the necessary structure to manifest our potential.
Extraordinary how both views reveal the deep interconnection between discipline and happiness. Alan shows us how these elements can create a beautiful symphony of growth, while Osho makes us see that, deep down, there is no contradiction, just a natural dance between structure and authenticity. I realize that true flourishing happens when we allow both discipline and happiness to guide us, each in its appropriate moment. Now let's explore a question that touches the essence of human relationships. Alan, in your view, do deep relationships come from not needing others to care or from mutual care? How to find this delicate balance?
Rubian, think of it as a serene lake. On days of absolute calm, when there is no wind, we can see the perfect reflection of the trees in the water. This tranquility represents a relationship based on the absence of need. When we are secure in ourselves, we don't need to beg for approval or constant attention. Now, imagine small stones being thrown into this lake. Each one represents an act of care, a meaningful conversation, a gesture of affection. Even though the lake remains deep in its essence, these ripples create a unique dance on the surface. It is this interaction, this mutual care, that enriches and makes the relationship more vibrant. The secret is to find the balance between internal security that does not demand validation and genuine love that expresses itself in small acts of care. The most meaningful relationships flourish when we combine this autonomy with a sincere commitment to the happiness of the other.
Osho, how do you see this same question about the origin of truly deep relationships?
Rubian, deep relationships are born from the freedom to be yourself. When there is no desperate need for the other to care, you can love in a more authentic and full way. True love is not a trade of needs, but a genuine expression of who you are. Imagine two trees growing side by side. Their roots are connected through the earth, but each flourishes in its unique individuality. When you do not depend on the other for your happiness, the relationship becomes a sacred space where both can share, support, and care for each other without feeling trapped. This mutual care naturally springs from that state of freedom, where each offers their energy instead of trying to extract it from the other. It is in this fertile soil of awareness, where one recognizes the freedom of the other, that the deepest and most lasting bonds are generated.
Fascinating how these perspectives complement each other. Alan shows us how balance between independence and mutual care creates vibrant relationships, while Osho reveals to us that true depth arises from the freedom to be authentic. ***. This reminds me of another delicate question we all face at some point. Alan, when is it important to care about others' opinions? And when can this impact our character?
Rubian, this makes me think of a nighttime journey. At certain crucial moments in life, such as in professional decisions or important relationships, the opinions of others can be like lanterns illuminating paths we cannot see alone, revealing valuable perspectives that broaden our vision. However, we must be careful not to lose ourselves in this game of lights and shadows. When we become overly concerned with others' opinions, it's as if we are constantly changing our course to follow each beacon we encounter, thus losing our own internal compass. True wisdom lies in knowing how to filter, like an experienced captain who recognizes which signals are relevant for navigation and which can divert him from his destination. Stay open to useful insights, but never compromise your essence for external approval.
Master Osho, I would like to hear your view on when we should consider others' opinions and how this affects our character.
Look, Rubian, in the world of human relationships, we need to understand that there is space to receive external contributions, especially when we seek collective growth or teamwork. It's like an orchestra, each musician needs to pay attention to the others to create a greater harmony. However, the real danger arises when this concern for others' opinions becomes a prison. When you constantly live seeking external approval, your character dissolves like salt in water, losing its unique and authentic essence. To cultivate a strong and true character, we need to find a balance between openness and authenticity. Being receptive to opinions that contribute to our growth, but without losing connection with our inner truth. It's a delicate dance between listening and self-determination.
It's impressive how each perspective sheds light on a different aspect of this issue. Alan shows us the importance of discernment when navigating others' opinions, while Osho reminds us of the delicate balance between receptivity and authenticity. I realize that the key lies in knowing how to filter what truly contributes to our growth, without compromising our essence. Another question, Alan, should we value small victories or seek greater recognition? How do we find this balance in our journey?
Rubian, this question is particularly interesting. Imagine a growing garden where each small sprout represents a personal achievement. If we focus only on the most showy flowers, we may lose the beauty and vital importance of these small signs of progress that emerge daily. Valuing small victories is like nurturing each seed we plant. It's recognizing that growth happens gradually, in small consistent steps. These seemingly modest achievements build a solid foundation for greater accomplishments. Of course, it's natural to yearn for greater recognition. We all want our journey to be seen and valued. But when this becomes our only motivation, we risk losing connection with the genuine process of growth. It's like a gardener who only cares about the most showy flowers, neglecting the daily care that makes the garden truly thrive. The secret lies in finding the balance, celebrating each small progress while keeping our eyes on broader horizons.
And what about you, Osho? How do you see this issue of valuing small achievements versus seeking greater recognition?
Look, Rubian, true wisdom lies in understanding that each moment of awareness is a victory in itself. It's like watching the sunrise. Each ray that emerges on the horizon is a fundamental part of the complete dawn. When we focus on small achievements, a moment of mental clarity, an act of kindness, a deeper understanding of ourselves, we are truly living. These are the precious pearls of existence that, one by one, form the necklace of our evolution. The search for external recognition is an ego trap, a distraction that pulls us away from the true inner journey. True recognition comes from a deep understanding of who we are and the genuine progress we make on our spiritual path.
I now understand that it's not about choosing between small or large achievements, but about honoring each step of the journey as we grow towards our true essence. Truly incredible knowledge. But let's explore a question that connects deeply with everything we've discussed so far. Alan, how can indifference to criticism influence our quest for inner peace and self-understanding?
Rubian, notice how this question touches a crucial point of our inner journey. When we learn to navigate criticism with equanimity, it's like a musician who has found his own rhythm. He hears the audience's suggestions but keeps his artistic essence intact. Often, external criticisms are like distorted mirrors, reflecting more the insecurities and projections of those who make them than our true nature. It's essential to develop refined discernment, like a jeweler who knows how to separate gold from impurities. Inner peace flourishes when we develop this ability to listen without allowing ourselves to be defined by what we hear. It's not about building walls, but about creating roots so deep that no wind of opinion can uproot us from our essential truth.
What a profound perspective on discernment, Alan. Osho, I would like to hear your view on how indifference to criticism can shape our inner journey.
Rubian, when you understand that criticisms are merely reflections of the limited consciousness of those who make them, something extraordinary happens. You free yourself from the invisible chains that bind your soul. This liberation is like awakening from a long sleep. You realize that your true essence is beyond any external judgment. Each criticism becomes an opportunity to strengthen your connection with your inner truth, not a threat to your peace. The path to self-understanding opens when you stop dancing to the music of others and begin to listen to your own inner melody. In this space of authenticity, peace is not something you seek, it's something you discover that has always been there.
Fascinating how both perspectives illuminate different aspects of this truth. With this, it's clear that true inner peace arises when we learn to honor our own truth, without being shaken by the winds of others' opinions. Very good. What an incredible journey this has been. But unfortunately, we have reached the end of another transformative episode. You know, after all this deep conversation about how to free ourselves from others' opinions, I realize that we have found true pearls of wisdom here that can completely change the way we live. Alan, Watts and Osho, I have no words to thank you for the depth and clarity you brought to this topic. Your complementary perspectives have shown us that true freedom arises when we find the balance between authenticity and genuine connection with others. If you who are watching identify with this quest for authenticity, I have two special recommendations from our channel. If you enjoyed understanding how to free ourselves from social constraints, be sure to check out our video, Why the Modern World Makes No Sense, where Yogananda and Osho explore how to find purpose amid the chaos of the modern world. And if you resonate with the need to free yourself from others' judgment, you will love our episode, How They Overcame Overthinking, where Sri Nisargadatta and Rumi share powerful insights on how to overcome overthinking and find mental peace. If you've made it this far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We always bring transformative content like this that can assist your journey of self-discovery and personal development. Thank you for watching this far, and I wish you to be free from everything that takes away your peace.